As a professional, what action have you taken to ensure that your life is fixed? Not what action were you hoping the system would take for you. What action have you taken? You as an individual, what have you done? When it all comes back, and it's coming back, the DEI, all the fucking liberal bullshit, the trannies, the drag queens, when the hordes of darkness once again descend on your towns, villages, and life, when the inflation continues to spiral out of control, when everything gets worse than it's ever been, which is guaranteed to happen in the next couple of administrations, I'm going to say, why didn't you take action and do something when the administration was on your side? Because you were waiting for them to save you. Was I right when I said to you 9 months ago that a leprechaun is not going to come to your fucking house and give you gold and that you better get to work now? Was I right? Nothing's changed. You're still in the same shit position you were then. You ain't got any big booty cuties at all. None of your dreams have come true. In the most favorable administration that we all prayed for, nothing has changed. Stop praying to be saved. No one is going to rescue you. How many warnings can I give you? The second best time, the first time being the past, the second best time is the present, and the worst time to possibly take action is the future. Because every day you delay is a day of life that you're going to experience without progression. We're nearly a year into the Trump admin. Midterms are coming up soon. It's almost over. The liberals are going to come sweep it all up in no time. Before you know it, a tranny's going to be at your door with a big dildo. And if you can't pay the tranny fine, she's going to bend your ass over. Maybe that's what you want, because you don't want to fucking try at anything for some reason. This world's competitive. We're all competing against each other. And the majority of people don't try. I've achieved this amazing life, and I've tried very, very hard. But it could have been harder. It wasn't 100% hard. Why? Because the competition's zero. Everyone is a fucking loser. I can say to somebody, listen, I'll make you a millionaire. Do this. Oh yeah, but you know, the kids are home from school now. And then they'll sit and go, really wish I had some money. You are a loser. I will sit here on this podcast. People will listen to me for hours. And I will say, listen, I have hundreds of millions of dollars and I will teach you how to make money. I clearly know how to make money. You clearly like what I say. You obviously believe I'm intelligent and integral and I won't lie to you. And still, a whole bunch of people will sit there and go, yeah, anyway, next video. And then they'll say, can't afford a Ferrari, and wonder why. Like, they'll be confused in their minds how they didn't end up getting what they want. Because you're a fucking loser. And this goes back to why, when we were saying earlier, how I know the elites view us. Because I'm from a council estate in Luton. And I despise losers. So imagine you're a billionaire born into a family, a lineage which has controlled Earth for hundreds of years. Imagine how much they despise us. You think they give a fuck about putting a bullet in me? They don't give a solitary shit. Because I already know how I feel when I listen to losers complain. You just get to a point where you're like, I'm tired of hearing your fucking excuses. That's bullshit. And I get it all the time. Everyone I grew up with, people I know, I get it all the time. They'll message me, hey man, you know, just unlucky. You are not unlucky. You are a lazy fucking loser. You are not unlucky. You are breathing. The unlucky ones are gone. You're alive and you are a lazy loser. So a loser is anybody who does not have everything they want at the drop of a hat. Because if I want something and I can't have it, I can't sleep. I don't know how there's broke people out here sleeping just fine at night. Going, oh, you know, inflation's 20%, gas prices are 6 times. I never stand a chance of ever getting rich. Where's my pillow? What the fuck is wrong with you people? I'd go to bed at night as a teenager. I looked it up on the internet. It was a Honda Civic Type R. I wanted one. It was like 38,000 pounds. I had no money. I had less than 50 pounds in my bank account. Couldn't afford it. Then I looked up how much a Ferrari cost. 210,000 pounds. And I said to Tristan, my brother, I was like, there are people with 210,000 pounds for a car. If I worked my job for 6 years and saved every penny, if I walked to work and didn't eat, I couldn't buy this car. How are people doing this? I knew I had to find a way out. I was sitting there going, I refuse to live my human years and be some second-class citizen peasant. And I was so uncomfortable that it gave me the motivation I needed to escape. But the people who go, oh yeah, nice Ferrari, yeah, back to the TV. Losers. If that's the reality you've chosen to live, you get one spin in this version of life, and you decide you want to be a loser, that's fantastic, because my cars need cleaning, a hotel room needs cleaning. Please, go pick it up. I ain't gonna fucking do it. If I had to walk into a hotel room and clean up after some other man's party, I guarantee you I'd do whatever it fucking took to become rich so I didn't have to do that shit. But you want to do that for 20 years? But I don't feel sorry for you people, because you fucking deserve it, because it's a decision you made. Have fun at McDonald's. Most people go through life and they do not pay attention. Because if you pay attention, you'll start to learn that money is everywhere. Every building is owned. Every apartment nowadays is $1 million. You drive down a street in London, you're driving past trillions of dollars. There's money everywhere. If I go to try and buy a plane or a jet, they're always sold out. My yacht is a fucking 6-year waiting list. There's so much money. If I want a diamond watch, you can't get this stuff. There is so much money out there. Once you get to a certain echelon, you realize there's money fucking everywhere. So there's plenty of money in the world. People with no money are just not very good at taking it. So you need to start paying attention. It's the first thing. Second thing is network. If you sit in a room full of ice cream experts and all they talk about is ice cream, the different flavors, how to store it, how to move it, if you hang around with these people long enough, when someone asks you a question about ice cream, guess what you're gonna know the answer. Everyone understands this. Your network is your net worth. You're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Everybody understands this. And then they still hang around with fucking losers. You're right. I am the sum of the 5 people I spend the most time with. Anyway, this is my friend Nick. He's so funny when we go drinking because he gets really drunk. I don't talk to anybody who is not winning. Every phone call I will answer, if I answer a phone call, it is from a winner. I don't talk to losers. If my entire reality is full of multimillionaires making money, how am I not going to make money? You got to forget the people who aren't about money around you. It's got to be all you think about, all you talk about. You got to start producing. And if you do all those things, you will start to make some money. But next time you're sitting with your friends, this is a challenge for every single person watching this. Next time you sit with your friends, unprompted, come in, sit down, and just join in the conversation. And after about 20 seconds, sit and think, this is bullshit. They're talking about this, that, this bitch, football game, this guy. This is not going to make any of us rich. I am wasting my life.
Here's my advice to you today. Walk away from the 97%. Don't talk like they talk. Don't act like they act. Don't go where they go. Don't specialize in what they specialize in. Throw away the blame lists they cling to. I'm telling you, don't talk like they talk. Lend a helping hand, but don't fall into their poor philosophical scenario.
And in order to get to the next level, you are going to have to give up something that you care about. See, all your friends, they can't go to the next level because they'll get up there with you, and the way they behave, they'll mess it up for you. You can't hang out with everybody you've been hanging out with. I had to leave my family. My family didn't get it. Steve, you're going to go tell jokes? That's stupid. You can't make a living telling jokes. Stupid. Quit your job, leave your family, pursue your dreams. My family wasn't supporting them. I got to cut my family loose. Oh, they all love me now. Everybody get a check every month. But I forgave them. They didn't know. Why you still out there telling them damn jokes? You'll see. And now they all see. That's why I was able to walk away, because I saw more. So you'll know when it's time to walk away from people. And some people you need to walk away from. You have to let them go. They're not going to get it.
The bigger your life gets, everything comes up at the same pace. And the more people believe in you or like you or support you, the more people hate you, because it creates an opportunity for envy. The only way to avoid it is to stay down. If you lay dead, even the animals won't bite you. The risk of being bitten is the cost of getting up. And you have to decide, are you so concerned about being bitten that you're willing to spend the rest of your life laying dead? Or is there something pumping down inside of you that says, bite me or not, I'm getting up. I'm gonna do all I can do, even if it risks you hating me. I'm going for it. This is very important. The people around you have everything in the world to do with the decisions you make, because they get in your ear, and if they are wrong, they don't die, you die. You got to make it happen, or it's not gonna happen. You got to get up off your hind parts and bust a move, or nothing is gonna happen in your life.
Absolutely everything as a man is your responsibility. It's your responsibility to become your best and brightest version of yourself. And you're not going to do that simply by talking it into existence. You need to go out there and do things which are genuinely difficult, genuinely stressful, so you can become the man you want to be. You can have anything you want. I really believe the universe will give anyone anything they want if they actually fucking want it. I've seen people pretend to try this. I've seen people make excuses for why they'll never have it and not get it, but I've never seen anybody who just wakes up, shuts up, works, and not get it. I did it. I didn't have food and I was a world champion. How did you fail so massively? How can you lack motivation? How can an antelope in the jaws of a tiger say, I lack motivation? I'm horny, I want to jerk off. You're 22 at the height of your capabilities, the height of your energy. It is Friday. Are you making money? What are you doing? Oh, there's this band. I really want to see this band. Bro, they're ripping out your throat in real time. You're bleeding out. Fight. Fight back. I don't have motivation. You're a loser. You are a loser. If you do not win, you lose. What do you call someone who loses? A loser. I don't feel motivated. Newsflash. Neither do I sometimes. You have to do it anyway because it's your duty to do it because you don't want to be a fucking loser. If you felt like doing it all the time, then there would be no magic to it. The magic is that you do it regardless of how you feel. What do you mean you need motivation? You don't need motivation. You have a duty to not be a loser anymore because the hole in the sky is closing. When men say to me they're depressed, with the capability to become anything you desire, with God giving you a full and able body and mind, how do you have time to be depressed? There's so much that you need to do to be your best self, and you're competing against men like me, and you're finding hours a day to be sad? No wonder you're going to perpetually lose forever. It's brutally ineffective.
You're as competent as possible if you believe you can affect absolutely everything about your life. You're as competent as possible if you believe absolutely everything that's happened to you, whether good or bad, is completely your fault. When bad things happen to me, the first thing out of my mouth is good.
Think about the biggest transformative stages in your life. Think about the times you got the most work done. It was a bad part of your life. There is a huge percentage of the populace which they're beyond saving because they're the worst thing you can possibly be, which is a quitter. God himself can't make a quitter important because the only reason the place you're trying to get to has value is because it was difficult to reach. Value is linked to scarcity. So if you're the kind of person who quits, you're never going to get there. Quitters are the worst. And it's hyper competitive out here. All the women want a few men at the top. You don't want a Ferrari to drive fast. You want a Ferrari because other men want a Ferrari and can't have one. It's hyper competitive. So if you're competing against every other man for every dollar you make, the car you drive, the life you live, you're not going to be able to compete with the person who performs regardless of how they feel if you only compete when you feel like competing. I think the best way to predict the future is to study history. Let's go back the last 3,000 years. If you were a king, your life was pretty good. Or it was as good as life could be. To be a king, you had power, influence, money, and you lived a good version of life. If you weren't a king, you were an average man, a common man. And I think the world is cyclical. When you were a common man 2,000 years ago, you were effectively a slave, and life was terrible. That was the same all the way up to perhaps the 1930s, 1940s. Being a common man was pretty terrible. And perhaps it was the war and the massive loss of life. Perhaps it was something else, I'm not sure. But I kind of feel like there was a golden period between in the 50s to 60s to 70s to 80s, where being a normal, hardworking man, because life is cyclical, went from being a terrible existence to quite a good existence. In the 60s, you could be a normal man who worked in a factory, an unskilled labor job, and with one wage, you could afford a house, you could afford a car, you could afford to raise a family, your children would not be taught garbage in school. What matters most? Your wife loves you, you're respected as the breadwinner, your kids respect you, they listen to you, your house is clean, your house is safe, your car works, your life is good. And I feel like because it's cyclical, those good times are over and we're going back to where it was before. The kings have always been fine, and we always will. But if you're the common man, I think that the good days are over. Inflation is going to absolutely decimate your spending power. Now, inflation doesn't damage me. Inflation doesn't damage me because I own all the assets. Inflation just means Bitcoin and stock and land and houses all go up. Inflation means my car collection is no longer worth 110 million. It's now worth 300 million, whatever. Because inflation is meaning your money is worth less. And it's going to take more of your money to buy a house. And your wage is not going to increase at the rate of inflation. It's becoming more and more impossible for you to own assets. For us asset owners, inflation's fantastic. So the common man is about to get wrecked. I think inflation is going to make it exceptionally difficult. I think AI is going to make most jobs worth less than they already currently are. And you're going to, if you still have a job, it's going to be only managing the AI, which means you're going to be paid even less than you're currently paid. I think life is about to become exceptionally difficult for the people in the middle. I think the good times are over. I think it's going to go back to the feudal system of kings and serfs and peasants. And I think if you're a normal, average person now, you should feel deep fear and panic and understand that you have a certain amount of time to get into the higher bracket of the social class before these hard times come. And the most scary thing about these hard times is I feel like the gap is going to permanently close. In olden times, the chance of turning into anything more than a peasant when you were born a peasant was effectively zero unless there was chaos, unless there was a war or some great catastrophe for you to go to war, win, get a knighthood for bravery, get some land, and change your social mobility class. But there had to be war and chaos for you to escape. Because without the chaos, it's kind of like a prison break. When all the rules are being adhered to and the prison is operating as it should, you're stuck in your cell. But if there's a prison riot, you have a chance to escape, which means uncertainty and chaos are required for the difference in social mobility. But now I feel like with AI and certain other things, although there's going to be instability in the world, although they're going to continue to lie to us, I feel like the Matrix is going to gain enough control to keep us all in our pods or in our 15-minute cities, or our electric cars will be turned off, or we need to get our bug rations for the week so that there can't ever be enough true chaos for you to escape. There won't be true social mobility, and I feel like there's going to be a close. The people who are rich now, their bloodlines will be rich for a very long time. And the people who are poor now, if they don't get rich soon, in the next 10 years or so, they're never going to get rich. The prices of houses are going to continue to go up. Prices of land is going to continue to go up. Inflation is going to continue to happen. Your wages will not catch up. It's now or never. Yeah. It's almost impossible right now. How does the average person on an average wage buy a house in London right now? Yeah. It's almost impossible already. I think in the next 10 years, it's going to become truly impossible, and they're going to use AI to keep the gap closed. And what I find most interesting about that is the socio ramifications of the fact that I think this is quite pertinent to most average people. I think most normal people understand. If you were to ask them, how's the economy? They'd say, well, it's impossible. I can't pay for my bills. I can't pay to eat. I can't afford a house. I can barely afford my mortgage. I'm never going to get rich this way. They understand all of this, but they're not panicking. Why are you not panicking? The Titanic just hit the iceberg. You may not be in the water yet, but it's a certainty. Panic now. Don't panic at the end with everyone else as they go into the icy depths. No, I would argue if I was on the Titanic and it got struck by the iceberg, I could have got a lifeboat nice and early. Now, I wouldn't have, women and children first. I'm just using this as an analogy. I could have gone to the top deck when no one else was panicking and said, you know what, I want this. I want to go on a lifeboat. No, I don't feel comfortable on a lifeboat. And the guard probably would have said to me, you don't need to go on a lifeboat. It's no big deal. I said, yeah, but please just give me the lifeboat, or here's some money or whatever. I want this one. Give me this one. Everyone started panicking at the end. And people are sitting here now going, oh yeah, the economy's bad, but maybe if we vote for this person, who are you going to vote for that's going to put money in your pocket? Actually, nobody. You still got to pay your council tax. Still a brokey. Nobody cares. No one you vote for is going to change it. It's going to get worse. It's going to continue. And the boat is going to sink, and you're not panicking. That's why, and one of the things I try very hard not to do is become elitist. Because when you've come from the absolute bottom to the absolute top, and you've done it all off of your own back, and hard work and dedication, and never missing a day, the only shortcut to life is to never miss a day, because sometimes you get lucky. And you'll never miss a lucky day if you try every day. And that's what people don't understand. If you never miss a day and you never don't try and you're always on time and you try and improve every aspect of your life and you're a professional and you try and make sure that you analyze your decisions, you give yourself feedback, you don't make mistakes, you're not lazy. If you try and you make it to the top, you end up elitist because you look at the people down below and you're like, well, why didn't you try? I did. Oh, I did too. No, you didn't. That's a lie. Now you're lying to me and that annoys me. This is what's scary about it because I'm from a Luton Council estate and now I have all this money. But if I meet somebody who's truly broke, I'm not talking about you not have hundreds of millions, but if I meet somebody who's broke, I think they're an idiot. And I catch myself going, is that bad? Am I elitist? Or do I sit down now and I just say, no, I started lower than you and beat you. How are you poor? You're lazy. There's nobody at home who is too stupid to become rich. Anyone watching this podcast right now, if you were to sit down next to me and I were to say, do this, do this, do this, do this, do this, you could do it. But you're too lazy to learn how to do it yourself. And you're too arrogant to listen. It's one of the two. Those are the two most common factors of people. So when I meet people who have truly failed and they pretend to me that they didn't want to fail, I know they're one of the three. And it's usually arrogant. Because when I sit and say to them, you could have got out, they don't say, you're right, I could have got out, I didn't try. They don't do that. They say, no, because it's excuse, someone else's fault, the Matrix's fault, no self-accountability. Oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about anyway. So I catch myself being elitist, and I try very hard not to be because I don't consider myself a rich man. I'm a poor man with lots of money. And what's scary about being elitist is, if I'm from a Luton Council estate, and I see the common man as a lazy idiot, imagine how the elites see us. And then you start to really go down the rabbit hole when you understand these people who've been in charge of the world for a very long time, who own the banks, who believe they're genetically superior to us because why not? Their families always owned the bank. Imagine how they view the common man. You think they give a shit about you or your family or your income or your wages? You think they care about you? You think they're going to make life easier for the common man in the next 10 years as you've just asked? Or are they going to continue to decimate your lifestyle for their own forever profit? There's no light without dark. And especially as these large companies want forever profits, which they do, and they own everything. I don't think many people understand. If you go into Sainsbury's and you look around at the brands, you will struggle to find 10 brands that aren't owned by the same company. The same company that owns Sainsbury's owns every brand. They own everything. So if they want forever profits, which they do, if they can make you poor so they can get richer, they will. If they own all the assets, they want inflation. They don't care about you. They don't care you can't feed your family. Why would they? So, and you can also look at it from a global perspective, which is quite interesting. America was built off the back of World War II. World War II made America rich. But Europe, for the longest time, got rich off the exploitation of second and third world nations. That's how it got rich, by building empires in Africa and Asia, etc.
Colonizing countries.
Yeah, colonizing countries. That's how they got rich. And now we have populations in Europe and in the West, which are decadent, and we want high wages, and we want maternity leave, and we want holiday pay, and we want good working standards, and we want good working hours, and we want nice chairs to sit on. Now we're entitled. And if you're a company and you need slaves, do you want entitled slaves, or do you want slaves who are just going to do their job for low pay? And then you start to understand why immigration's being unchecked on purpose, so they can bring in people to try and work jobs for basically nothing, who don't want standard of living and don't want standard of work. And what they're effectively doing now is, instead of exploiting the second and third world to benefit Europe, the globalists are now decimating Europe on purpose. Instead of destroying the second and third world for the benefit of Europe, they're going to destroy Europe, and that's going to benefit the second and third world. But they're globalists and they don't care. All they care about is forever profits. They'll go live in Saudi. They'll go live in Mumbai. They don't care. They're not tied to the land or tied to the place like the average European is. So if you're the average man in a European country and you're not financially free and you're stuck somewhere in the middle, not only is your life going to get harder, but also the place you live in is going to get worse. Your wages are going to go down. Crime's going to increase so that the people in charge can get their forever profits and avoid all the mess they make. And it's all done purposefully. If I was an average person, I'd be genuinely afraid. I mean, it's easy for me because I have so much money. I can look at the map and go, where is safe? Tokyo, cool. Most people can't do that. They're stuck. And the fact that that doesn't bother them or they don't panic, I find flabbergasting. I mean, the iceberg has struck the Titanic. How long can you have a border where people can arrive by dinghy and throw acid in people's face until your nation has fallen. And how long will you sit there and get hit by endless bills that continue, inflation that wrecks your currency, wages that don't increase, new taxes with ULEZ cameras, crime rates increase? Bro, I said this to Tristan. We were saying how we miss England because we're English in our hearts and part of us miss it. And I was saying, you know what? If I lived in England, I couldn't even protect myself. If you come to my house, there's a big gate and there's pit bulls and there's 4 guys with weapons, guns. You need SEAL Team 6 to get in my house. There's bulletproof doors and I have a gun next to my bed. I'm the final boss. It's gonna be a shootout. In England, I can have all the money in the world. I can go to Radlett. I was looking at a house in Radlett. I'll say right now, it's 12 million pounds. It was gorgeous. And I thought it's worth 20 million. And I was like, Tristan, if we bought this house, the problem is we couldn't even protect ourselves because eventually someone will work out it's our house. The only way you can protect yourself in the West now is to hide. I was like, we can buy this house, not put it in videos, not put it on social media, not invite girls over, because you know what'll happen? You'll invite a girl over one day and she'll say, I'm coming with my friend Lucy. Next weekend, she's out sniffing coke with some dickhead, and she's like, I was at Tate's house. No, you weren't. Yeah, I was at Tate. I was looking at this picture. Where was it? Here. They now know where your house is. Look. Mr. Bugatti, Mr. Diamond Watch. I'm sitting in my Radlett house. There's fucking 25 windows, 6 door entrances. I'm like, Tristan, we can't even hire armed guards. You can't even be rich in England unless you want to hide. I wear a $400,000 watch in Bucharest, Romania. In London, I don't wear it. So we're talking about how the nation's failed. You could be rich in England and you're still not safe. You have to live like a hermit, like a cockroach under a rock and hide. Or maybe you get a chance to call the police before they chop your wife's hands off. Oh, that's great. And there are people there with no money. They're not even rich like me. They have no money. And they're sitting there going, it'll be okay. Maybe if we get Rishi Sunak out and get another one in. No, it won't. No, it won't. It is a failed society. You need God. Revert to Islam and move to Saudi Arabia. In Saudi Arabia, none of that will happen to you. And one of the things I prioritize now in my stage of life is safety. I don't see the point in anything if I'm going to end up killed. But if you're going to kill me, at least the Matrix has to kill me. At least make it a cool story. He was telling the truth. He did fun podcasts. They assassinated him. Make it good. I don't want to die because some idiot wanted my watch. And I feel like the whole Western world is that dangerous now. When I go to London, I'm probably the most nervous. I don't know how anyone lives in London without feeling nervous. I'm so nervous all the time. And I've got 3 dudes with me who are 6'8". And then you'll hear about someone get robbed just outside Harrods while you're in Harrods. You're like, how do people live in this city? And they're just living there like, oh, it's not that bad. Yes, it is. Yes, it is. I've never had that. This is the capital of the poorest nation in the European Union. I've never had any problems here. How do you have a nation where you're not allowed to be wealthy without hiding? Where you can arrive without a passport? Where they can't catch people who decimate people's faces with corrosive substances? Where there's people in a room, those who are supposed to be designated towards enforcing law and justice, trying to put me in jail because I said women can't park. This whole thing is a clown show. Only God can save us now, my friend. I don't know what the West is going to do, but this clown show is built on the back of the taxes of the hardworking average man. You're the average man. Not only is your life fucked, not only is your future fucked, not only are your children going to be finished, you're paying for this. You are paying for all of it. What planet are we on? The Western world has fallen, and empires rise and empires fall. That's fine. But to sit and try and pretend it hasn't fallen is hubris. It's being an ostrich and sticking your head in the sand. And the smartest thing the average man can do is realize that yes, the Western world's fallen, and 2, you have 10 years to get into the higher class, the higher social mobility class, or you and your bloodline are eternally finished forever.
Thanks for watching. For more motivational content like this, make sure to like and subscribe to this channel.